What is going on, everybody? This is your boy Socrates, and this is the Deep Dive Trending Topics. What we're doing today. Um, I'm saying this now, but it might end up being the farce. My intent is not to be here long, but I might start pontificating and expounding, and we might be. Don't know. But I'm gonna do my best to just run through all of these topics. And yeah, also happy November, all that good jazz. Hope let's start this month off with some positive, good vibes. We are almost at the end of a very tumultuous year, so look, let's just send this thing out with a bang, baby. All right, so first, always start off with giving of flowers. So first we have Jovita Moore. So she well, first and foremost, I probably should have just said RIP to her. She worked for WSB TV. She was a veteran for that news station. That is Channel 2 Action News. She died from a battle with an aggressive form of brain cancer, and it is called glioblastoma. I might have pronounced it wrong, but we all don't like cancer over here, so whatever. But it was an aggressive form of it. I don't know what stage she was in, but they were saying that it's aggressive and there's no cure for it, but there was medicine to slow down the progression. So she has to come to that. She's now on the other side. So rest in power to her, to the family. Much condolences. Actually, I'll talk about my family just saying because it ties into the next story, and it's with Mike Mora. So he is Khaleesi's husband, and he has recently gotten some bad news. So he has been battling with stage 4 cancer, and you want to remain hopeful and whatnot, but he's recently been told that there is nothing that they can do for him. This is what the doctors have been saying. So, and then stage 4, that's when things get really, really bad. And it's a miracle if things take that turn for the best. But what I will, and I'm sorry, they also have 2 children together, if I'm not mistaken. So I know this is going to be very difficult, knowing that there is a strong chance that he's going to transition as well. But what I will say is, as messed up as it is, and this is probably a unpopular opinion, but if you know that someone is on the cusp of leaving, they're on the edge of leaving, as much as it hurts to go through it, because I actually, dealt with a family member who had breast cancer, had her breast removed, it came back more aggressive, and we lost her shortly thereafter, and we lived in the same building. So I know what it is to be there caring for someone and to see them slowly wither away and all of that. But there is a blessing in it, and that's the blessing that you know that it's coming. So you have time to prepare, you have time to create new memories. If there's any animosity, any issues, you have time to fix those things. Because, like I said, the person that I lost, if I didn't already say, was my cousin. Well, my father had passed, and that was a freak accident. And granted, there was a lot that was never discussed between he and I. But like I said, I have my closure from it. Is what it is. But it's just that thing of, a lot of times when people pass, it's like that you don't know it's coming. So even though it is hard to go through the motions, just know that you do have something that other people don't have, and that's the knowledge of knowing that this person is going to go. So you have the ability to create, new memories and all of that good jazz. And I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. So let's move on. So the next one, Meek Mill. I believe I talked about this young man last week, and here we are again. And I only want to bring this story up because it's funny to me. So he released several tweets. First one is, I haven't get paid for music, and I don't know how much money labels make off me. I need lawyers ASAP. Then asked the record labels, how much have you spent on me as an artist? Then you ask, how much have you made off me as an artist? I'm about to make my record. deal public by Monday, just to let the world see what these people on. And lastly, I'm a war for everything that's mine, all ruthless vibes. So here's what I want to say about this. First and foremost, at this particular point, and again, I'm all for having no empathy for people, but not a whole lot of sympathy. I don't have any. Like I remember, because like I said, I was born in the '80s, grew up in the '90s, lived my life in the 2000s. In the '90s, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was. There was at least two behind the musics that I had access to, and that was that of Tony Braxton, that of TLC. Those two behind the musics alone gave me a lot of insight into what the music industry is. And what tends to happen is, unfortunately, you do have a lot of African Americans, because I can only speak to my particular group, that come from not, well, very humble but not so pleasant backgrounds, that grew up in the hoods and all that other stuff. So they're quick to just sign a contract. And you have some people that say, oh, well, they don't have lawyers. A lot of these studios will appoint them a lawyer, but these lawyers work in the best interest of that company anyway. So they don't have their own exterior lawyer who has that person's best interest in mind. So they literally just sell their souls away. And many of them are trapped in, dang that, but a slave, pretty much a slave contract. And the way that all that works is, you don't have to worry about nothing. They gonna take care of wardrobe and videos, music, all of that. But thing is, the most that you might see is a advance, which isn't free because you have to pay that back. So all of this money that is being used to fund your career is going to come out of whatever the album makes and whatever you make on tour. And what tends to happen is everybody gets paid first and you are the last to get paid. So the record producers, the songwriters, everybody gets paid. You're the last one to get paid. And whatever is left over is what you get. And most artists make their money on tour. And these are just facts. So you should have known this, and you didn't learn anything from your ex. Okay, so I have absolutely no sympathy for this person, and I really don't have a whole lot for most people because this information is out there. Granted, you can't go independent, and this is one of those where you spend more money up front, but in the end, you own everything that belongs to you. So this seems like you didn't reach a contract. So yeah, go ahead and put them on blast, but in the process, you're just going to reveal just how stupid and idiotic you were. Anyway, moving right along. So I'm gonna touch on this, and then because I probably should have saved this for last, but oh, I did these out. Did I do these out of sync? No, I didn't. I just put up the wrong one. Okay. Look, editing, doing this stuff live, well, live recorded, but not like y'all know what it is. Dang it. So these three, I have purposefully tried to ignore a lot of the goings on dealing with Boosie and Lil Nas X because for what is who the hell is texting me? What happened? Okay, purposefully, just oh gosh, okay, let me turn this off because I'm easily, I swear, I am the there's a squirrel type person. Like I can get distracted very easily. Like I'll circle back around, but I can't easily be distracted. So I've chosen to ignore a lot of this because some of it is selective outrage, and I just not really willing to deal with it because when it comes to Boosie, he has gone out of his way to create issues for himself. When you had Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union's daughter, and I know a lot of people are this, like my thing is this: I'm all for respecting somebody, because if you tell me that your name is this but you like to be addressed as this, I'm going to address you how you want to be addressed out of respect, period. So their daughter, it is what it is. Now, whether or not you agree with the parenting style, that's up to you. Whether or not you believe that this child should be making a decision like that, and there was no talks of my knowledge of any reassignment surgeries or anything like that, but again, that has nothing to do with you. And I'm one of those where if I see something I don't like, I just pass by it. I'm not going to sit here and put too much energy into something that doesn't suit me and that doesn't feed me. So, and the fact that he gets so upset about these things that has nothing to do with his family is unnerving. And it brings up a lot of question marks too, where it's just like, why are you so focused on this? And then you have Lil Nas X, who is just doing him. And now you're upset because of how he performed on an award show and because he gets to do it with okay, but you already know the guy's sexuality. So why is it a big issue? And you are harping on this. You are picking on this young adult. I want to say young adult because I do believe he's 18. Excuse me if I'm wrong about that. If he's not 18, well then that's another story. But we'll bring up his father in a minute. And then there was this whole talk because I'm doing a semi-history lesson before I bring us up to speed right now. And then it was the whole what about the kids thing, which that upset me because it's like this you're only bringing up the kids because you're trying to sit here and gain a certain perspective and gain people to join in on this crusade that you're having because you want to sit here and say what about the kids. Well, to be honest, first and foremost, what about your kids? The fact that you allow an adult woman to pretty much have sexual relations with your children. You spearheaded that. That wasn't even a decision that they made. You spearheaded that. But you want to talk about children. We have other people talking about, so what about the children? They're selling this to the children. When y'all can sit here and go into the foster care system and deal with that, when y'all can sit here and make sure that children that don't have anything to eat are being fed, when we take care of that, because that's what's most important when we're talking about children that are in the foster system and that staying there their whole lives, children that barely get enough to eat throughout the day. If you're worried about the children, that should be your concern, not what's being sold to the children. And again, we can go back and sit here and talk about all the different things that have been pushed on children. And the other thing is, if it's such a big deal, how about you be a parent and monitor to the best of your abilities, because nobody's perfect, but monitor what your child is ingesting. Oh, but rather than do that, you want to sit here and point blame at somebody else. Miss me completely. So with all that being said, you have Boosie constantly having something to say about this young man. And again, it's one of those where the young man ain't said nothing to him. It's just the young man is living his best life. And now you have an issue with him living his best life. So then you have something to say. Now, in this particular instance, Lil Nas X wanted to have a little bit of fun. So he pretty much said, I believe it was on the Instagram Live, that, he and Boosie are coming out with the song. And he kept saying coming out, which kind of leads you to believe that y'all get what this is going on. I don't even need to go down that rabbit hole with y'all. But nevertheless, everybody knows that young man is a troll. So rather than just let that roll off your back because you have been attacking this young man for months now, no, we can't do that because this is what Boosie had to say. Stop trolling me. Now, we're going to stop here with that particular word, the F word. We already know that is a very derogatory term that is used towards people in the LGBTQIA plus community, primarily the men, not the women. But again, something that is used. It is a very nasty word. And the fact that he I'm pretty sure if he typed it, he probably already said it. But we can sit here and equate that to other different demographics of people and certain words that are very triggering that we don't like hearing, that, shows that you don't like my particular ethnicity, or in this particular instance, you don't like somebody from this culture. So that right there is an issue. And then LOL, you a whole, playing with the gangster, shaking my head. You can keep, I don't know why they didn't blurb that out, but you can keep giving fellatio and getting in your and piecing you hate yourself. I would too if I was you. LOL, Lil Nas says, if you decided to transition on, you would do this world a huge favor. Nobody wants you here. Okay, now again, there is a lot going on here. First and foremost, the fact that you are typing out sexual acts you really are not only, starched and pressed, but you have a fascination. Let's just call it what it is. You have a fascination. I don't know what jail did to you. I don't know what happened in, the years of you leading up to being you right now, because I ain't watching your documentary. Because, again, I don't support tomfoolery. That's not what I do. But there is a fascination. And the fact that you spilled all that out, seriously, guy. And then one of the worst things is the whole, if you were to, and again, I'm paraphrasing, even though y'all can clearly see what it says on the screen, but I'm paraphrasing, you would do the world a huge favor. And it's very upsetting because you have a lot of people in the LGBTQI community that they contemplate suicide. Dang it, I wasn't trying to say the word. Whatever, they contemplate it, and it's because they don't fit their and you have these norms that are just insane, and they don't know how to cope. Don't always have the tools, and for you to sit here and even push that out, it's disgusting. Seriously. Now, let me be clear on one thing. Let me be very clear on one thing, because I know somebody might say, aren't you the same person that said if you go into war with somebody, ain't nothing off limits? I did say that. I did. But I also say, when it comes to going at war, when the smoke settles, the dust clears, I probably said those backwards, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. There are casualties. There is the aftermath, and you have to be willing to deal with the aftermath. After you've done doing all that, you have to be ready and willing. So, with that being said, I don't think he's ready for it, because there's also, what if your children turn out to be gay and or lesbian? They may not want to talk to you about it because of what you are putting out on social media. And again, any parents listen to me that got kids, y'all have to be very conscious of what it is that you say in general, because if they hear you spout some stuff like that and they happen to fall into that group of people that you don't like, they may not feel comfortable talking to you. And that can do more damage to your child than good. So this right here is very nasty, very discouraging. Just but I will say Lil Nas has taken in stride, because this is what he replied with. I am truly saddened. I have never been so mortified in my life. I can't believe Disney Channel has yet to play Halloween Town this entire October. Kudos to him. Like, just go ahead and troll him. And like I said, we don't know how that has affected him, but still, it's just like, dang, you on this boy jock so hard, and for what? And then he just literally curbed you, like, just like that. And then and Ashley, let me put this one back up, because I think it overshadows it. With him talking about playing with the gangster, right? Well, Lil Nas X's father pretty much says, how the hell you're a gangster rapper promoting drugs, gun violence, degrading women, and getting high every video talking about you're for the kids, man. Sit your oh man, look at down. The game has passed you. We real bankhead over here, not like the guy who claims it. Champions. Now, this is getting to a particular point of the person in question. Lil Nas X may not be hood, may not be gutter. That don't mean his family ain't. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, you want to play these games, and I really just wish I almost Boosie would sit his ass down. Primarily when he spoke with Mike Tyson on his show about Dwayne Wade's daughter, how he ain't have all that smoke talking to Mike. And obviously it's because he knew that Mike would sit here and just knock him out. But again, there is a certain level of respect that you should have for other people's children. And then also you have to ask yourself, because a lot of people just like, oh my gosh, I don't know why Lil Nas X's father is jumping into it, and I believe his brother also jumped in too. But here's the reality: you never stop being a parent. That is never not going to be your child. They may not be a child, but that is still your child. Okay, my mother has defended me as an adult. Well, like I said, I'm in my 30s now, but that was in my early 20s that happened. Was I even 21 yet? I'll just say I was 20. My mother had defended me on some ish, and I appreciate it, because like I said, kind of helped our relationship. Nevertheless, you never stop being a parent, and I would hate for this to get to a point where bows actually get thrown. But if it do, maybe somebody going oops upside little Boosie head might help him out ever so slightly. But then you have Boosie reply to the father saying, "Don't get mad because your son came out like that. LOL, I know it hurts." And the whole came out like that, it has such a nasty negative connotation to it. So, and it's like, again, you are not doing yourself any favors. Now, the reason that Big Frida's right here because she had an opinion. Let me pull it up on here. And TMZ was able to catch up with her, and she weighed in on the beef between Lil Nas X and Lil Boosie. And Freedia made it clear, in her opinion, Lil Boosie isn't homophobic. Now, because I'm looking at it through a browser. So he not homophobic, but he clearly used a derogatory word, the F word, to address him. But he's not homophobic. He wants him to kill himself, but he's not homophobic. Wasn't there something else? Hold on, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Your son, don't get mad at me because your son came out like that, but he's not homophobic. Okay. And the beef is strictly between those two. Freedia even says Boosie's new movie has tons of gay people in it. And I should have mentioned this is from Gossip.com. Okay, but and obviously that was from a TMZ interview. Okay. But for you to say that he has gay people in his movie, and what does that mean? Okay, you have, people who don't like African Americans, or even we go back to slavery days, they not like the Africans that they then brought over, but they still work for them. You have corporations that have certain ethnic groups that they don't like, or certain demographics they don't like, but they still have them working for them. Some of them more or less because it's a quota that they have to, have and maintain so they don't get looked at in a certain way. But yeah, and then it's just like somebody saying, "Oh, I have black friends. Oh, I have Asian friends." Oh, it's the same exact thing. So you're trying to sit here and quantify it. And again, this might be because um, Frida is from a certain age group, a certain generation, which I'm thinking more than likely Generation X. And Generation X was so closely tied to the baby boomers. A lot of those mentalities have trickled down. It's just now that we're getting to Generation Y, Z, and Alpha that a lot of that stuff is being, ripped away. And she ends by saying, "There's no way he could be homophobic, right? Sure." Now, I will say this. This ain't my boat to row. I'm just saying that statement made absolutely no sense. And for Big Frida and anybody else from the LGBTQIA that is supporting this tomfoolery, don't get upset when people like Boosie, when you say or do something they don't like, they sit here and give you the same exact treatment. Do not be upset. Do not be upset. That's all I'm going to say about that. But you guys let me know what your opinion is about this foolishness. And the last big story, Miss Nene Leaks. So we all know that Greg Leaks has thus transitioned, and she's been dealing with just everything that has come after that. And the funeral happened, the repast happened, and she did a radio. Well, she was co-hosting with Tigger, and she was asked about Cynthia, and she said Cynthia didn't come to the repast. She did come a week later after everything was done. She came to the lounge. It was really hard to explain. Housewives, it's almost like a dysfunctional family. That's what she said about Cynthia, and if she came. Now, a lot of people was just like that wasn't shade or anything like that, but you have to also remember Cynthia does not stay in Atlanta like that. And even if she did, people need to get out of this mindset that when your world stops, everybody else's world stops. It doesn't. Now, of course, Cynthia is in a different, group to where if she needs to, she can sit here and move stuff around to make it to that. But you also don't know what her schedule is, and she could just, and rather than say she didn't come to the repast, just could have said, Cynthia was busy, so she couldn't make it, but when her schedule cleared up, she came out a week later. We hung out. Like, it's a way to sit here and talk about it without it coming off the way that it did. I'm sorry, that came off like some people said that didn't come off as shady to them. It came off shady to me. And also, you've been doing this long enough to where you knew that was going to be a question, so you didn't already have something planned, like created to just be like, And also, I can't tell nobody how to grieve. I really can't. But if I'm still in the process of grieving, and her doing the show, I'm pretty sure she got paid for it. She probably have bills that she needs to pay. But there's a way that you can sit here and maneuver, and I understand not answering the question makes it look even worse. But I'm just saying, is it another way she could have finagled that? She also said she was surprised because the first set of flowers she got was a bouquet from all the housewives, like they went in together. Nene share. I'm like, why do y'all need to go in together and buy some damn flowers? If all of y'all work, y'all can spend your own $200. That's the way I've always been. Now, first and foremost, all of this was done for Greg, not for you. That's number one. Number two, she said all the housewives, which is all the different franchises, many of them are just your co-workers. So, and imagine if you work with somebody that you may not necessarily care for, or whatever, and it's like, hey, we're all pulling this together. We've done that in the military when I was in, where somebody would, like the first sergeant or the sergeant major, depending, bring in this big card, everybody signs it, this, that, and the third, to give it to that particular person. Where this is just all of us doing something nice. We don't have to do anything. You're not entitled to anything. This is just something that we're doing. And again, more often than not, this is probably because of how they felt about Greg and not about her. But we've even seen on the show, when he was first diagnosed with cancer, how she made it all about her and not about him. And she's doing the same exact thing. And everybody wants to say, oh, well, she's grieving. But your actions are the same exact actions you had when you weren't grieving, when Greg didn't have cancer. This is all the same exact behavior. And she recently did a social media video where she was talking about a soccer, which we can just say that was Claudia Joy she was talking about, because Claudia had her opinions, and again, she's doing it on her show that she's getting paid to do, which I agree wholeheartedly. Like, you're doing too much. But Nene was trying to explain away everything that happened, and then she went down the rabbit hole of saying, when Todd's mother died, Greg and we pretty much paid for all the food for the repast. When somebody in Marlo's family passed away, we gave this, almost just like, well, I did this, so y'all should. And look, you can't expect everybody to do what you did. And the fact that you're even bringing this up to, throw it out there, pretty much means you probably wasn't doing it from a genuine place. But then she went on to say that both Candy and Marlo individually gave. So it's just a whole lot. And now she wants people to leave her alone. But I'm sorry, you opened up Pandora's box. And people have to understand, you can't open up a can without having a way to close it. So you open this up, you didn't have a way to close it, you're getting what you're getting. And this is hurting her because a lot of people were hoping that she would have grown since the last time we seen her on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it appears that she hasn't. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. And to close things out, we have Spotlight. Go ahead and run through these quickly. So Sisters have, Tyler Perry's show Sisters have been renewed on BET for season 4. So kudos to all of those involved in that. Speaking of Tyler Perry, he did a show, Tyler Perry show Sisters After Show Edition. It was just one thing, and it was almost like a pitch, because you see the Tyler Perry show, but at the very bottom, what that was about. Well, it tested pretty well, so he's been renewed for a second episode. So if it goes well, he might end up just having a regular series. We'll see. And last but certainly not least, Shantae's got a man at home. I had to do that. I'm sorry. But Stephen Hill and Shantae Moore are engaged, so I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm gonna let y'all deal with that in the comments. But congrats to Shantae and all that good jazz. So that is all that I have. That is it. That is all. I want this to be nice, short, and sweet. Um, yeah, that's it. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, please do. I literally just posted tentatively my video schedule from now up until the end of the year. So, like I said, there's this every Monday. Uh, November Real Housewives of Potomac because that's all there. Beverly Hills it ends this week. And also Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl comes out I believe on the 19th, and I'll be doing gameplay on this channel. So that, and then I am possibly doing the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Tentatively, I haven't quite said yeah or nay. I might do the Portia show. We don't know, but that's all I got. But with that being said, you all, if you haven't watched my Real Housewives of Potomac video, please do, please do. Unfortunately, I will not be on the panel this week. I will actually be spending time with my aunt. So if I get back in enough time to do the video, I will. If not, hey, just is what it is. But hey, gotta put family first, especially in these crazy times. So that's all I have. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all for the next video, which will be Beverly Hills Part 4. Peace.